Hey guys, welcome back to TomGirl. This is our second episode of the week. We have a big double header here this week. Tonight, we have Alex Paxton Beesley and Ryan Robbins from WGN America's Pure. It's going to be a great one, so stick around.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Right, yay! Alex and Ryan, thank you guys so much for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having us.
And I know you've had such a long day of press because season 2 of Pure is out next week.
Yeah, it starts on Tuesday night. We're pretty excited about it. Yeah.
What, I can't give spoilers, but what's something that you're most excited about for season 2 being back here next week?
I think the way it begins is fitting to where season 1 ended. I personally took so much flack after season 1. People were so mad at me. Like,
My mom is pissed
mad
at
at
you,
me.
dude. She's so mad.
Yeah, and so I'm really happy that we get to at least resolve that. And it picks up about a year after, about a year has passed since the end of season 1, the beginning of season 2. And it picks up, you think, oh, it's interesting. And then all of a sudden, man, we hit the ground running, and it's a fast-paced season, and it's bigger, badder, bolder. It's all the things.
Yeah.
If you thought season 1 was fun and stressful, wait till season 2.
Fun and stressful.
Stress is exactly the way to describe it. Yeah, the premiere episode is one of my favorite episodes of the season. It's so intense, and yeah, I think people are really gonna
So much
enjoy.
happens.
Is maybe the wrong word because our show is so dark.
Yeah. But so much happens just
yeah.
in that first episode alone that you're gonna watch it and be like, what the hell? Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. For some people who maybe are new to your show, let's get them caught up a little bit. So tell people a little bit about the premise of the show.
Okay.
Well, I play Noah Funk. He's was a newly elected Mennonite pastor in an old colony Mennonite community, horse and buggy. We sort of eschew technology, and Alex plays my wife Anna. We find out that there is a drug cartel has infiltrated our community, and we decide it must go away, and that should be simple enough to just get that stuff out of here. And then, my character just goes deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, and it has no end. And as much as Alex's character Anna tries to pull him out, she just gets pulled in there with him, and the madness ensues.
Let's hear a little bit about Anna's journey in the first.
Yeah, she's an incredibly strong and capable woman. She's been described by some as stubborn and feisty, which I absolutely identify with. And yeah, when she realizes early on that there's something going on with Noah, and as things become more and more clear, she's the kind of person who, when she sees a problem, she's going to try to solve it. She's going to try to take care of her family and her husband and her community. And unfortunately, in this particular instance, there's only so much that she can do. So, by the end of season 1, we're left with this heartbreaking situation where Noah has been cornered and forced into a situation that he doesn't see a way back from. And so he makes the decision to walk away from his family and his community to avoid tainting them with what he's done and to try to reconcile what the rest of his life is going to be like. Yeah. And so, when we pick up in season 2, everything is different. They haven't seen each other in over a year. And Anna's been actively searching for him while trying to preserve some modicum of normalcy for her kids. But it's proving to be incredibly difficult. So she's having to be even stronger with even less resources. Yeah.
What are some of the things individually that you each love about the character you play?
There's a lot about him. I love his integrity. I love his loyalty. He doesn't quit. He won't quit. He's a man of faith and a man of great moral. He's got a great moral compass, but it's just his relentless love for his family that I really admire in him. which is where we pick up, this act to Noah that seems incredibly selfless turns out to be in the end actually, possibly quite selfish. So seeing him have to struggle with that and playing that this show is an actor's dream come true for us.
I definitely want to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think the thing that I love the most about Anna is that she is never one to shy away from something. Like, she does not, nothing gets shoved under the rug. Like, she's going to try to deal with everything as it comes. She's really got her eyes open, and Noah can be a little bit naive, I think, and it's one of his endearing qualities and one of his most frustrating qualities. Anna is definitely not naive. She's a lot more worldly, and so just her strength and her ability to always be looking out for a solution to things, and within that there's like this deep faith in herself, in her ability to solve things, that I think is just really awesome. She's like a really strong woman.
I love what a straight shooter she is.
Yeah, right. She's just like,
especially with Noah.
okay, we're gonna get this done.
She's an absolute straight shooter with Noah. She doesn't pussyfoot around. She just gets straight to the point, and it's an admirable quality. I love that quality in people in general. So.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the process of you two like working together from the moment like you kind of first met and started working together to now moving into season 2, kind of the growth or what you've experienced.
Yeah. Well, it's been an interesting journey from season 1 to season 2, because in season 1 our family unit was intact. So, going to work every day, we got to see each other. We got to spend time together. We got to live in that family space. And then in season 2, when we rediscover these characters, they're completely separated. And that's what happened for us too. Ryan couldn't be on set until we'd been shooting for about a week. So for the first week, it was not only that Noah was gone, but Ryan wasn't there either. So there was this real sense of alienation in a way, which was it broke my heart a lot. I was like, oh, this is really, it feels so weird to like be here without my TV husband.
Yeah, our cast and crew were all very, very close, and on and off screen, and we got very close very quickly, and it's a really sincere connection that we all have with each other. We all have amazing chemistry. When those cameras roll, just everyone just locks in, and it's an amazing experience. And everybody that comes to our set. We had a lot of new cast members this season, and we got incredibly lucky.
Oh man,
blessed
did we
with
ever?
Such an amazing new cast. And everybody said the same thing, that this is just an exceptional experience. Everybody just it really admires the set, that when we're working, we're so fortunate that we have that.
Yeah.
And we're just hoping and praying for what it's worth to be able to keep going.
Yeah, let's talk. So some of the new people are Allison Hannigan. I had the other ones written down.
Chris
We'll talk
Heyerdahl
some
joins us. Zoe
a-
Palmer joins us. Delmar Abaze joins us.
Al Sapienza.
Al Sapienza, we've and Victor Gomez and Conrad Pla, and we've got like the people that are joining us in season 2 are out of this world, and the characters.
I'm glad you said Conrad, because I feel like we haven't been shouting Conrad.
Oh my
out
God!
enough. The
But
man
you
is
know what?
exceptional.
I almost feel like I don't want to talk about Conrad, because his character is so horrifying, and he's such a delight that I feel like everyone's gonna be so obsessed with him the first time that they. But I don't want to spoil it. You know what I mean?
He's a guy. His
he's so
presence.
awesome.
He's a scene stealer in presence alone.
Yeah.
And the man is just an exceptional human being, and I'm grateful that him and I become friends. And,
he's just
I'm a
such a
huge
nice
fan
man.
of his just from the fight world. He's a big deal in the fight world, and then he is such an exceptional actor that you see him on camera and you cannot take your eyes off this guy. He's so great.
We have this like. It sort of comes out of the general atmosphere of our set, of it being such a collaborative environment with the crew. Like, everyone is firing on all cylinders, and it means that, at least I feel that, because everyone's bringing their A game, it's like the sky's the limit, right? In terms of what we're making together. Like, I feel so constantly inspired watching everybody else's work, that it just feels like it's this endless font of like energy. That's I've never really experienced it this way, where it really does feel like it is, as Ron says, it's like an actor's dream, because it just feels like we're playing together, we're making something together, all of us, every single person on that set. It's the best.
And Michael's writing is so great, and it lends itself to collaboration, and Michael loves that. He loves to sit and talk with you. He's really open to that, and you know, he totally understands that a character is a character on the page, and once there's an actor hired for the job, they're going to bring a certain something to that character, and he loves that, and he loves actors, and he loves playing with scenes once somebody has been cast, and then seeing where that character can go now that we have a cast member. And the writing in season 2 is just mind-blowingly exceptional.
Well, and I think too, like some of the like more recognizable guest stars that have been added to our second season, I think the kinds of characters that they're playing are really going to surprise fans of theirs.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know, like I think people are going to be really excited and really satisfied with this sort of, you know, it's not the typical part for some of these fantastic actors, and they're doing such amazing work.
Allison Hannigan. Oh my God, dying. Like there are scenes where I just, because my character's just so stoic. Enter the Allison Hannigan picture, and she is such a one. Oh God, I love her. She's so great, and she was so much fun. Like it was a challenge. There were days I was like, I can't even keep a straight face.
I had the exact same experience with Chris Heyerdahl.
Yeah.
Ryan and Chris are like very old friends, and so having Chris on our show was amazing on so many different levels. But his character, Augustus Nickel, is so heartbreakingly charming, and just like this beam of light who comes into our Anna's very sad world at the beginning of season 2. And it was so hard sometimes to work opposite him, because I was like, I just want to laugh and smile, and I know I'm not allowed. Like that's not what's happening for her in this scene, but you, the person, are being so charming. They're good problems.
What are some of those moments, either your favorite moments that you filmed for the show, like scenes, or else moments just that behind the scenes that we'll never see that
honestly,
stick out to you?
There are so many. We were really fortunate, because like you said, Chris and I are old friends, and Zoe Palmer and I are also longtime friends, and having old friends on set is always great. And you have a shorthand, and this season my character spends a lot of time with Zoe's character, and man, it's the shenanigans we got up to, me and the lovely Miss Palmer, and we will go on these like we just become these funny angry old people rants about like, I'm drinking coffee like it's going out of style. What does that mean? What is that going out of style? Why would you want to overly consume something if it's going out of style? I mean, it's becoming irrelevant, so why are you overly consuming? And we would just go on these rants, ridiculous rants that were just like, the day just went spent. It's so dumb, but
Yeah. Any that stick out for you? Or?
I mean, I don't know. We play a lot of like really dumb games, like especially because I
1, 2, 3.
George Foreman is always the one that I go to. Okay, so we have that's always the first name that comes to my mind in this game. I don't know why. So we play this game. So
I can't believe we're doing this.
we spend so much time reading scripts, right? Like just as actors, and you encounter so many character names. And a lot of character names sound absolutely ridiculous. Like there is no way that there is a real person that has that first and last name. So we have this challenge that at the drop of a hat, we'll catch each other off guard. We go 1, 2, 3, and you have to come up with a name, a first and last name that sounds like a real person but isn't a real person. And my brain, it makes your brain just like skip a beat, and you just like immediately like you glitch, and you cannot possibly come up with anything. Mine is always George Foreman, or it's like
That's a real person.
Jim Flurgenblog. Like
The funnest person again is Jessica.
oh my
Clement.
God.
She's
Yeah.
she full panics, and there's a time limit. It's got to be right
It's
away.
got to be real fast.
And she will gibberish like there needs to at least be a vowel.
It's so fun. But it was the best because we had so much time off in between filming season 1 and season 2. We had like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that happened when I saw Dylan Everett, who plays Itzhak, one of the very first things he did to me was go 1, 2, 3, and I was like, I'm time traveling. What? I don't know. It was it's pretty
I
fun.
love it. That time, how long are you actually on set shooting the season?
It's like almost three months, 2.5 months.
I think it's about 3 months when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes, so it's not a giant. It feels longer because the days. We have a very ambitious schedule, and our days are long. We shoot long days, long hours, like most shows. But we basically we shoot a feature film every episode.
Yeah.
The way we shoot it, the way it's lit, the directors of photography that we've had, with Ken Girardi sort of at the helm directing, it always feels like a feature film, but on a commercial time.
Are you still shooting in Nova Scotia? Or
Yes.
were you- yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that location is very much a character in our film.
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
in our series.
Yeah, and it's pretty special to us to be able to shoot out there. We're both Canadian, and the crew out there and the locations, like the crew is the most exceptional crew that I've ever worked with. They are so incredible at their jobs. They make our jobs so easy, and they've helped us make such a beautiful show. And the location itself is just like the people on the East Coast of Canada are the kindest, most down to earth, most welcoming people, and it's so beautiful, and the food is so good. Like
If you
it's
get
the
a
dream.
chance to go to the East Coast of Canada, you really should. It's absolutely stunning, and the people are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And,
We should be shooting a Tourism Nova
Yeah.
Scotia commercial right now.
It's funny because Canada has been on my list for this year because I've never been, and I'm like, I
you
really
gotta go.
everybody says so.
Yeah.
You guys just sold me on it.
It's a completely different country from the west to the east. It's
Yeah.
it's like visiting several countries.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
Well, how many episodes will we be getting in season 2?
6
Six again?
episodes
Okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a 6-episode arc.
And any other? What else should people, without spoiling it, but other things that people can brace themselves
Well,
for?
there certainly will be some surprises. There will be tears.
Yeah.
Some of sadness, some of joy.
Yeah, our villains this year are so fantastic. They're terrifying, and maybe some of them are going to be, people that you don't expect so much.
Yeah, I think with Eli Voss, he was calculated, and he still somewhat operated with a code. There is no code with these guys, and there is no calculation. It's just all danger all the time.
All danger all the time.
It's
really true.
They don't have time to mess around with codes and ethics. It's this get the job done, and sometimes the easiest thing is to just eradicate everything. So they are terrifying. They are intelligent, super intelligent. They have the characters have incredible pasts and history that make them really just dangerously intelligent.
Yeah.
They're very thoughtful, and they're very well written. Bad guys. They are going to be the bad guys that you love to hate.
Yeah, I think people are
Awesome.
really gonna really love them because I love them,
Yeah.
even though they like scare me so much. You'll see it in the season premiere. There's one scene in particular where it was there was not a lot of acting going on my part. Where it's just like
and two of the most kind, thoughtful human beings you'd ever meet.
incredible people. They're both so
Terrifying on
lovely.
camera.
Yeah, it's
That's got to be such a release for them, though. And if they're so nice in person,
Yeah.
just to be nasty.
pure evil.
But
That's interesting.
It's great. It's great when an actor is like that because that sometimes comes through. That sort of kindness and
Yes.
thoughtfulness comes through in a performance, which makes the terror more terrifying.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
humanity there that makes it even harder to understand why these awful things are happening, why they're doing these things. If they have a human heart in there, they're not just an automaton.
There's this deep-rooted
good point.
sincerity that comes through.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I cannot wait for people to see this. I'm so proud of this.
Few
show.
more days. Few more days.
1 week.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We're so excited.
And let's talk about Anna this season because
Yeah.
we're in this wonderful age of women empowerment, and you come through with so much power, I'm hearing,
Yeah.
and you get left alone at the end. Yeah, so talk
Yes.
about her like taking charge and how this role is for you now.
Yeah, well, it's been a pretty insane journey because, you know, she's gone from someone who didn't know what was going on, but knew that something was going on. And slowly, as she gleaned more and more information, she became more and more involved in this awful situation. And then, you know, is left to pick up the pieces and take care of her kids. And yeah, as season 2 moves at breakneck speed, people are going to see her being trapped. And again, it's like that pillar of strength that she has within her is in some ways, you know, in some ways it is her greatest strength to be so capable, and in some ways it's her greatest downfall. So it's been really rewarding in a weird way, because it is so devastating to go through what she goes through. But it's been really rewarding to find that and to have to justify or figure out how you could possibly justify some of the things that she has to do, some of the choices she has to make. And you know, I think in watching it, in talking to people like on set, talking to my fellow actors about it, you know, there are some decisions that she makes, and it's like, well, what would you do? What would you do in this situation, in this very real situation?
I feel like that's the attraction to this show, is these characters are very relatable, and I think they're written accurately. I mean,
It's
you
funny
know,
because it feels so outlandish, and then once you watch it, you're like, oh no, wait,
but
actually,
if you
is
really
so
think
universal.
about it, look, I mean, sometimes we as men, we choose to, you know, go inward and wallow in certain situations where, you know, a woman like Anna will just get up and get up again and get up again and put one foot in front of the other, and because that's what needs to be done. That's what needs to be done for her family and for her kids. Where and I think that's accurate. I'm a single mother raised. That's what my mother did every day. She just got up and put one foot in front of the other and made my life much better than it could have been. And I love that, and I love that we get to tell those stories more, and more people get to appreciate those stories. And Pure does that in a wonderful way. I think with everybody on the show. I think you know you will relate to several people, at least one or two on our show. You know,
We've talked a lot about the universality of this show, and I think that's something that's really worth emphasizing, because, you know, at the very core, this is a story that I think anyone can relate to. You know, these are just people. They are in very specific circumstances, sure, but aren't we all, right? Like, everyone's context is their context, but at the end of the day, it's about who you love and how you will take care of them, and how far you're willing to go to take care of the things that you believe in and the people that you love. And I think it's really important to see those values and that story played out in a very specific circumstance, because I think it can help people understand that, oh, even if that person's context is so far away from mine, like that is someone who's living without technology in the middle of nowhere in this incredibly close community, and they're still dealing with these things that we all go through. I think it can really inspire empathy in people, and that's really what we need a lot more of. It's a good thing to practice.
Sure do. Yeah. How similar do you each feel you are to your characters?
I like this question.
I know, really.
You get a lot.
No, it's a really good question.
You know, when I first got the role, I was really excited to play a character. First of all, unlike any character I've ever played. I mean, you sort of want to pride yourself on doing something different with each role, but I'd never played a character like Noah. And then I'd said to my friends, I said, "This is great. This is so fun to play a character who's nothing like me." Until I realized how many similarities we have, you know. So I think there are a lot of things about Noah that I am learning from, you know, and I am inspired by, and a lot of mistakes that Noah makes that make me think, what would I do and how would I avoid those mistakes? And it's been a fascinating journey, and I'm by no means ready for it to end.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I want to be more like Anna in a lot of ways. Like she is. She's such a straight shooter, and she's so she's just so capable. And through the second season, I think I similarly to Ryan, I think I did realize that actually I'm a lot more like her than I thought I was. And some of that is like the stubbornness. I think the people in my life would probably describe me as being stubborn and pretty bossy. But those aren't bad things. And yeah, she's I really admire her, even as she does some terrible things. I think she's someone who I have really, it's been a joy trying to understand her and empathize with her, right? And the more and more that I get to know her, the more and more that I realize that there's a ton of that inside of me, for sure.
I think there's something really wonderful about the fact that our show isn't written with cliched archetypes.
Yeah.
So sometimes the cliched archetype it's an easier go-to. You know what they expect of you and what the audience expects of you. But these are not cliched archetypes. These are people going through very real, very painful journeys, and a journey will change you. It has to. It has to by its nature. And so these characters have to change and alter, and we have to change and alter with them. And you see moments where our own personal levity might come out in a situation, in a scene that maybe you think, oh my God, this should be a meltdown moment, where it does the opposite, where you just can't help but smile at the ludicrousness of the whole thing. And those moments are when the character and the actor start to blend, and those are great moments because your feet are planted and you're solid and you're set in the scene. I mean, we have scenes together in season. There's moments where we get so deeply into these characters. We've talked about this before, that there's one scene in particular that we barely got through. Because we just get so rooted in these two and their emotions and their love for one another, and the situation that Noah caused, really.
How far in advance do you see your scripts?
Much more in season 2 than
much
we did
more
in
in
season
season
1.
2 than in season 1.
Like one at a time, or do you get?
Well,
those
we had a draft of all 6 pretty early on, and we knew Michael Emo had let us know what the arc of the season was, so we knew what was coming up. But there were some moments in scripts where we would call each other and just be like, can you believe what is happening in this episode?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. Obviously you always want to tell more story and do more, but the nice thing about having 6 is that it really does feel like a 6-hour feature film. So we sort of knew where we were heading.
They did save a few things, though.
That's true.
They did keep a few things from us.
They did keep a couple of things from us.
And
Your eyes are lighting up on that.
I had some questions like all the way until the end of the season, and I was like, I don't know, is that gonna?
We were very uncertain how the second season was going to end.
Yes.
For a long time, but mostly while we're shooting an episode, we're preparing the episode to follow. It's sort of how it goes. For us, it's because we have to speak a different language, and because we have to adapt this into a culture that we used to be unfamiliar to us. Thankfully, we have a wonderful Mennonite advisor in Laura Cahoot, who is our translator, our coach, and she's absolutely invaluable.
She's the greatest.
Incredible. We have to have that. We have to have things in advance because we have to be able to learn the translations and all this stuff. We had some big scenes in full low German in season 2. Very very powerful scenes, very emotional scenes. So we were grateful for that. I mean, in season 1, there were times in season 1 we were getting same day rewrites in Low German, and we're just like, you are out of your mind.
Like there's no,
You know.
there's no way.
Yeah, but we did it, and we pulled it off. It's that thing too. You pull it off, and they're like, "Wow, they pulled it off."
You can do it. It's
Yeah,
gonna
they
be
got it.
fine.
But fortunately, that didn't happen. Fortunately, they were they appreciate the effort, and they appreciate how important doing a good job is to us. We don't nobody on our cast or crew phones a single moment in ever. And we're very fortunate that way.
But it was exciting, especially with the Plattdeutsch this season. Like seeing how far we could go. I was definitely at the very beginning of the season. I was like, I genuinely don't know if I can do this much. And it was really gratifying to see that actually, no, we absolutely have that ability.
Yeah, and having shot season 1, we had a better comprehension for the language in season 2, but it had been a while. It had been a couple years, so we were like, we weren't like and it just once you have that limited comprehension, but comprehension enough where you understand what word is what phrase is what. It's
Just
much,
even
it's
the
much easier to
sentence
put the proper
structure.
inflection on it and get behind it, and then having. We weren't able to have Laura on set with us in season 1, so having her on set in season 2 was outstanding. Because we could get the nuances and we want everybody to enjoy this, and we're telling a story about a Mennonite mob, but we're not glamorizing a Mennonite mafia. We're trying to show that what a wonderful group of people these Mennonites are, and the lengths they're willing to go for righteousness and to keep their community safe and intact. That's what, and that's important to us, is to make sure that we're representing that community, that very loyal, loving community, to the best of our abilities, in this bizarre, crazy, fictional world. This of course this Hollywood arena that we've placed it in.
Yeah.
Well, and wasn't it loosely based on a true story?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
That's-
inspired by true events. So there is a drug pipeline that has been discovered a couple of times running from Mexico through the United States up into Canada. And people have been arrested, and they've been, trafficking various kinds of drugs within a very small portion of the Mennonite community. So that was sort of, Michael Amo optioned a news article about that like a decade ago.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of this idea.
There have been a couple documentaries on it.
Yeah.
I feel like W5 did one. But if you like documentaries about that
Oh,
sort of thing,
man, they're
it's
fascinating.
definitely worth a watch. It is horrifying and fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than the language that you talked about, what have been some of the other challenges that you guys have faced through the 2 years of shooting now, or maybe like things that have surprised you, or like how you've maybe struggled through something as an actor and got through it, or any moments like that have come up for you over the last 2 years now?
I think one of the first things that I found challenging to understand, that quickly became one of my very favorite things about making this show, is the physical language between this couple, because they're not very physically demonstrative between themselves. And because this is a relationship that's built on such love, that was sort of alien to me, to not be able to touch the person that I love, and to demonstrate that. But it means that every time we do, it is so much more meaningful. And discovering that language was really, really enriching. Like it really took me outside of myself, and I think helped me like really find what this family's values were, right? Yeah, that was a big one for me early on.
Yeah. There were so many moments. I'm just trying not to give away spoilers, but there are a lot of things that happen in season 2 that, as these characters and as fans of our own show, which I am proud to say that we are, you go, oh my God, what are we doing? What is it? Well, okay, really? Well, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's horrible, but it makes sense. And then to be apart for that length of time, for Noah to be apart from his family for a good chunk of time, it was really strange. So, ultimately, you can just imagine what happens if and when family members reunite.
Yeah. It is. I feel like it was like the just establishing that values system, like really what the tenets of what they're fighting for are. The honesty, the humility, the family structure. Yeah. Those massive pillars that these people have built their lives around.
Just shooting season 2 was like taxing on the emotions.
Yeah,
it really
was exhausting. Yeah,
it really
in
was.
the best way.
There were just so many elements of, when you're going down a certain path, and then all of a sudden the path just splits into a million directions, and you get horribly lost, and it's a dream where you're just that panic dream where you're just trying to get back to something familiar. And that's what it felt like for a lot of the scenes for me, a lot of the season.
What are the tools, like as an actor, that you use or you guys utilize as you're going through things like that? Or if you hit moments where you're like, I don't know how to play this scene, or when you're trying to discover things, what are some of the go-to tools?
I think Alex probably has a healthier process than I do.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't have the. I think I remember years ago I played Charles Manson in a film, and it dawned on me then that I don't think I have the healthiest process.
Yeah,
you gotta share more now.
No, I just I have to feel the things. I have to feel the things
Did
very
you kill
deeply.
people?
Ryan went on a small
just a
murder
couple.
spree, just like a little one.
The guys in black suits are outside. No, but you do like emotionally. I have a very active imagination, and emotionally, I need to be in that truthful place. I don't just turn on the waterworks. They've got to come from a truthful place for me. For some reason, if I'm really drawn to a character and into a character, and that character sort of speaks to me and speaks through me. I know this sounds like really flaky actor speak, but that does happen. And when you're in the pocket, and that scene hits the character and hits you the way it's supposed to hit the character, it's a rough ride sometimes. It's an emotional roller coaster and a rough ride, and then to go home to your family and try to turn that all off, to just turn it on again a few hours later, it's a challenging ride, and that is, but for me personally, it's worth it. I love this. I love it.
I think for me, especially in season 2, a lot of my process again was rooted in empathy. I wanted to try to understand how on earth Anna was justifying or not justifying her actions to herself, and what the cost of that might be. So it's funny because so much of it comes from even when she, you can see in some of the trailers for this season that maybe she's really gone out on a limb in some places and is doing like some evil things. And so just to create sort of, like those pillars I was talking about are the values of this family, like what her absolute scorched earth priorities are. And that always sort of comes back to the faces of her 2 children, right? And so to try to, I'm not a mother in real life, but I certainly have people in my life that I feel that way about.
You are a very maternal human being, though. You just are naturally.
I'm just bossy.
I'm
just a bit of a know-it-all,
You're
and
also
I'm pretty bossy.
a giant goofball. Like, that's what I don't think people understand. Is she is such a goofball and ridiculous sports nerd.
We're gonna get to that.
Sure. But yeah, just that's the beginning of my process, and then there's all the like technical actor stuff. And getting out of your own head and getting out of your own way, but that's like really where it begins for me, and that's also how I would approach a problem. If I'm finding a place where I don't know how to justify or how to access the place that I think she is, it has to drop back to that empathetic place. And I got some great advice from my boyfriend, actually, who's an actor and who really helped me out in season 2 as like my sounding board and coach and stuff. And there's one particular moment where Anna goes to a place of like intense anger, and that's something that I struggle with accessing in my own life, just for a small therapy session. But he offered me some great advice, and he was like, where's the love here? Where is the love and disappointment and hurt that inspires this fury? Because that you can access for sure. And I was like, oh yeah, holy cow. There's something so powerful about finding that, the flip side, the positive side of any of those negative emotions.
Are we going to learn any more about Anna's relationship with Bronco at all in the second season?
Not so much in the second season. No, Broncos do. I mean, mostly to professional obligations. Bronco, his storyline. Yeah, his storyline is certainly not finished. But Bronco's gone off and he's joined the Marines.
He's saving lives right now.
AJ Buckley is currently a Navy SEAL on
CBS. There's not a continuation of that.
We do love and miss you.
We do love and miss you, buddy.
I was curious because right away I'm like, ooh, there was something there, and then you pull it out later, in season 1. I was like,
but our detectives this year,
man, they're so
Zoe
great.
and Delmar were, I mean, come on, they were exceptional. Like they just knocked it out
They're
of the park.
both so delightful. It was so
God.
nice having them out there with us.
And those two had such a hilarious chemistry
They're
together.
so
They
funny.
were so good. Like, and I don't even know if they knew each other before.
No, I don't think they did.
But those two on screen together, you just like the banter.
So great.
Yeah, it's
They're
so
both
much
so
fun.
continuously unimpressed with each other on screen, which is
Yeah.
my favorite part about the working relationship. Is they're both just like, "Who are you and why are you telling me what to do?"
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, before we run out of time here, we'll do a little tradition we do on the TomGirl show. Since it's your guys' first time on the show, we do a deep dive into your Instagram, just a little bit, and
Don't hit your head. It's more of a shallow dive on mine.
Well, we found some wonderful things on there. So we'll start with you first, Alex. And something I loved is that like he mentioned, you are a big sports fan. So let's talk a little Raptors.
Oh.
How excited are you?
My God, I can barely even talk about it. I'm ludicrously excited. So we had a little event to show the first episode of Pure while we were here, and that was during one of the Raptors games, and they had these guys that were writing haikus at the party. So I obviously made them write a haiku about the Raptors because I love the Raptors so much. But yeah, it's been the most glorious ride of my life. And I was talking to Ryan about it. The shot that Kawhi Leonard hit in Game 7, NBA history, no buzzer beater ever in a Game 7 in NBA history. The feeling when that went in, like that, you can't replicate that. It's the thing that I use the most. I'm constantly trying. I'm like an evangelist for sports. I'm like constantly trying, or a missionary. I'm trying to convert people to join me in my sports fandom, because that feeling, you won't ever find that anywhere else. There's no way. Yeah. we bought, one of my best friends and I, we bought those PJs and he immediately got traded. So I'm sorry, CJ Miles. No.
Could you just imagine though? I'm not a Raptors fan. Sorry, Toronto. But could you imagine how long that felt for him?
Oh my God.
Like, and
Oh, yeah.
the way
Insane.
he was crouched down there, and you know how he was trying to will it in with his tongue.
Yeah.
Just like.
So
But
much.
if that felt that long for us,
I know.
Imagine how long that must have felt for him.
Can you imagine trying to go to sleep that night too? You wouldn't.
Oh
it would
my!
just over and over
I
and over.
couldn't sleep. I have this group of friends that we just have like a text thread together. We call it Sports Tears, where we just we just talk about the Raptors, and we named it Sports Tears because when that shot went in, we all just sent each other pictures of what our faces were, and we were all crying. My sister FaceTimed me. She was like inconsolable. She was with my parents. They were crying. I was crying. Everyone. It's just. I mean, I'm so proud of them. and I'm deeply knocking on wood
Yeah.
and hoping that they continue with their teamwork and friendship and communication and have some fun out there, and maybe let me coach a game sometime because I just feel like I've got some insights for them if they need them.
Yeah. Well, we had your other shot where you were next to the announcer, so I think
Oh my
that's your
God.
next probably like getting down on press row.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She couldn't even handle being there. You put that headset on her, she's lose her mind.
Lose my mind.
Oh my god! 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 There he is! There he is! Oh my god!
It's a lot. The Raptor, our mascot, I got to sit courtside once, and the Raptor hugged me. It's top 5 moments of my life, probably so far.
You should be that mascot.
I know. Our mascot is exceptional. He's amazing.
You got a pretty fantastic
Yeah,
mascot.
he's great. And Stripes, his nephew, I think they call him. The other mascot is also exceptional. They're really good. I love the Raptors so much. They're
well,
so
you
great.
had another fantastic sports one that I enjoyed. You had a quote on this one. This is
yeah.
oh wait, not this. Yeah, be the Jose Montestor you want to see in the world.
Oh,
So
no.
I
Is
thought it was
that
fantastic.
your Joey Bats? look?
That's my face mask. I was doing a face
Yeah.
mask because I was breaking out on my chin while we were shooting season 1. So we were shooting season 1 when the bat flip happened with the Blue Jays, and the amazing Edwin Encarnacion game happened. It was just like, it was intense. We have a lot of sports fans in our cast and in our crew, so it's
we get a baseball game going every season
Oh, nice.
against whatever other production is in town. We usually get a baseball game going
Yeah.
against them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a very mouthy manager this year at the baseball
Oh my
game.
God, you were.
I may have made some enemies, but you know what? It was worth it.
They were not playing a very honest game.
They were not,
No,
and
that's
I don't
true.
stand for that.
Good for you.
No, baseball.
I don't want to go as far as say
yeah.
cheating, but they were being a
Little
little
pretty close.
dishonest.
I had some notes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I had a couple of notes for them.
You know who you are. You know who you are.
Next, we have this next one you said was actually from the set, the alpacas. I
Yes.
thought this was a travel photo, but you said this is on set.
So
cute.
on our Funk family farm, it's actually a functioning farm, and
The Functioning Funk
the
Farm.
functioning Funk family farm. That's a really good band name from the 70s. So those guys, one of those alpacas is actually named Tina, which is amazing. And they were in a pen that was next to our cast tent most of the time, and they kept trying to escape. So every once in a while, we would go into our cast tent, and there would be an alpaca head underneath the fence in our tent, just like spitting at us and chewing.
That's awesome.
They were very cute. Yeah.
I think the last one for you is we should have you on the beach. And I didn't know, would you say like the beach is one of your happy places, or what are your happy places?
I mean, I am a very pale ginger, so the beach is a stressful place for me.
right. You do not look stressed at all right there.
That was amazing. That is in Ontario. That's I think that's Lake Ontario, but I actually can't remember.
That's very Breakfast Club of you, right there.
Oh,
that
thank you very much. It's we're so lucky. I'm from Toronto, and we're so lucky in Ontario to have access to so many beautiful bodies of water within like drives in every direction of a couple hours. So being outside is it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty lucky to live where I live. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ryan, I believe you
Gosh,
are up. You are up
I'm
next.
so excited.
This is not
On
gonna
the
be-
All
spot.
right.
This is not going to
So-
be nearly as exciting.
Finding out you are a bike guy.
Oh,
Tell me
yes.
about your bike love.
Oh yeah, my very good friend and business partner Clancy Peterson and I have a custom motorcycle shop. We live in a very small town in the mountains called Squamish, BC. It's about 40 minutes south of Whistler. I guess it's super small, but it's small for us. We have we built custom motorcycles. It's called Tri-Stone Moto, and that's my bike. And I went to pull it out of the shop to take it for a ride, and it started pouring rain. And it was going to be my first ride of the year, and it was a beautiful morning, and I got to the shop, I got my bike all ready to go, and just dumped rain. I was like, great, this is
rude.
which
sad
happens
face.
which happens in British Columbia. No, but yeah, it's definitely a passion for me and for us. We my partners, we all work in the film industry. There's a bunch of us. Well, I guess there's 3 of us, but we all work in the film industry, and that's what started as just a fun little side hustle in my garage. had to move out of my garage if I wanted to maintain a happy marriage. Things got loud. We got welders, we got grinders, and I have children, and so we moved to our shop, and then things picked up quite quickly and kind of crazy, and I love it. It's so fun. For me, I love the idea of taking something that someone has given up on, and because it's older, because they're over it, or whatever their reason is, to just sort of just quit on it, and to take it and make it as badass as it's ever been, make it better, make it cooler, and in my mind, to make that person that quit on you regret quitting on you, you know?
Love it.
I feel like that's very Noah Funk of you.
Right?
Does she have a name, or he, your bike?
Oh, we call her the Luftkopf, which is because it's it's an airhead. It's a BMW airhead, and the BMW engine design is based on airplane design. So it's got a lot. The BMW motorcycle has a really amazing history, which I won't bore you with, but I love that stuff. So yeah.
And when did your love of bikes begin? How old were you?
When I was quite young, and then I stepped away from motorcycles. I'd had a bad accident, and I'd stepped away from motorcycles for a while, and then my amazing, wonderfully supportive wife was just like, "Yeah, I think it's time you should probably get back." She's like, it terrifies her, and she will, but she understands that. For me, there's something about being on a motorcycle. I can't think about yesterday. I can't think about tomorrow. I have to be immensely present and in the moment, or I will die. But I love it. I find it really meditative, and it's. If you're a rider, it's just a really wonderful, sort of peaceful feeling. And where we ride, I stay off highways. I tend to just go. I built it. My bike's what's called a scrambler, so I built it to be able to go sort of off road a little bit, and when the road ends, my ride doesn't have to.
That's cool.
All right, next one for you. This was actually posted as your bucket list photo.
Yes.
Tell us about this one.
So I'm a huge hockey fan. I'm a giant Vancouver Canucks fan. I don't know the celebration of a win as much as you do these days.
I mean, you're
It's
talking to
been
a Leafs
while.
fan, right? So
We've been rebuilding, but I love our team immensely, and I've been a fan my whole life. I had the opportunity to go do a charity event with the Vancouver Whitecaps, and the Sedins were there. Henrik and Daniel Sedin were there. I wanted to play defense in the back with my buddy Jay Demerit, who was a former captain of the Whitecaps. I thought it'd be safe, be easy. No, they put me up front on the line with the Sedins. But it was amazing. It was incredible.
What are some other things quickly that are on your bucket list next?
I want to do a movie with the Muppets. Hands down.
Ryan is the biggest fan of the Muppets in the entire world.
Do you have a favorite Muppet?
Yeah. Well, Animal is definitely my favorite Muppet. But I'm a fountain of obscure Muppet trivia, which is like her sports fandom is my Muppet fandom. It's a bit
amazing.
It's a bit.
both
I think
real
it's a bit
nerds.
jarring for
Get
people.
different podcasts, I think, right there.
I think it's a little bit jarring when people find out that I'm such a massive Muppet fan.
I love it because you've got deep knowledge of the Muppets.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's pretty.
Yeah,
it's,
I wouldn't
it's
have
pretty
guessed that
crazy.
one.
I know. Muppets and comic
Love
books.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I also found a lot of beer on there. A few Guinness fans, or are you a
that
beer
was on my
guy,
way-
or just?
that was on my way here with AJ Buckley's paperclip bag. That bag is AJ Buckley's company. That's funny. I like beer. Yeah.
Beer's great.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm a fan of Guinness, and there's a story to that particular Guinness in that lounge there, but
A good story.
it's a wonderful story. They didn't have any Guinness, and then they saw me and went and knew I liked Guinness and went into the back and found Guinness for me.
That's so nice.
Yeah, they were lovely. I was very pleased. Very pleased.
That's like your Cheers. Your Cheers is the airport.
Yeah, it was,
That's an actor's life.
That is right.
yeah,
Yep.
it was really nice. I didn't even ask it. They just like, oh,
that's really cute.
We found this for you. And I was like,
That's-
oh, that's super nice.
That's
Yeah,
really nice.
that's sweet.
Thank you, Air Canada.
And last but not least for you, I had another water shot. So this was a wave shot that you posted. Was there a story behind this? Or?
There is one of my dear friends is an exceptional photographer. His name's Aaron Smedley. He lives in London, England, every so often we'll just get together and do these photo shoots, and he somehow manages to get me to do ridiculous things like walk into the frozen Howell Sound in the freezing cold Pacific Ocean and in a Russian straitjacket.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't even catch that part.
The sleeves are actually several feet long.
Oh yeah, there we go. Nice.
He just brings some madness out of me when we do these photo shoots, and and I love him for it. They tend to be a little bit therapeutic in a strange way for both of us. And he takes amazing photos of my daughter. So.
That's wonderful. All right, that's it for our Instagram game.
Yours was way funnier.
No, both are great.
My
They're
feed
awesome.
is basically just Raptors right now. It's Raptors in the show, so yeah.
I thought they were both awesome. When I was looking last night, I was like, oh, we got all this great stuff. I love these guys. All right, so tell everybody again, like where they can watch the show, premiere night, any last thoughts to get out there?
We're so excited.
Yeah.
We're so happy that WGN America picked up our show and is premiering. Season 2 premieres on Tuesday, May 28th at 10/9 Central on WGN America, and we are so proud of this show. Oh my God.
We will be live tweeting if you care to join us. We had a really great time live tweeting during season 1, so if you're up for that sort of thing, come join us, come talk to us. Come,
our cast is pretty delightful.
Yeah,
they're pretty charming.
And a lot of like young Jessica, she's got lots of behind the scenes tidbits that she shares. She saves for the live tweets these photos, these videos that are shocking and embarrassing most of the time.
They're mostly
for
embarrassing.
everyone but her.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I can't wait to watch, and I think it's so fun that you guys all get along so well. I mean, you can just feel it, and I just am excited.
Oh,
so,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you both for coming in and taking the time.
Thank you. This is a real pleasure.
I love
this
doing
awesome.
this show, yeah.
Yay. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We will see you here again next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.